Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, and absolutely thrilled to have in the studio with us Daniel Guillou. He's a graduate volunteer for Canine Companions for Independence. How you doing there, Daniel?
I'm doing great this morning. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And who did you bring into the studio with you?
Well, I got my 5-year-old service dog, which is a Lab Golden mix. And his name is Van Netter.
Very good. Van Netter over here. And joining us is my longtime colleague and friend and Mr. Community in San Diego, and that's Neville Billimoria, Senior VP of Marketing and Community Relations for Mission Fed Credit Union. How you doing there, Neville?
I'm fantastic. I'm so excited about this interview. I love Dan and Van. They're the coolest ever.
Well, I really appreciate you bringing it to us, and we're excited to get started here. I'm going to start with you, Dan. Talk about your story.
My story, as far as I broke my neck when I was 16, diving in the shallow end of a pool.
Okay.
I was a lifeguard during a break, kind of flirting with a girl, another lifeguard.
Right, that's what a lifeguard does, right?
Yeah.
That's in the job description, I believe.
Yep, I dove over the top of her when she was swimming in the 3 feet, and I thought she was closer to the edge, and I dove. Right at the last second, I realized I'm going to hit her if I dive the way I was going to. And so I had to change my dive, and so I dove straight out and straight down, sort of somersaulted in the water and hit the top back of my head on the bottom. Broke my 5th and 6th vertebrae.
Right, so now you're at the bottom of the pool, right? Or did you float up? What happened?
I believe I floated up, but I couldn't flip over. I was instantly paralyzed.
Right, but were you face down?
Yes.
Okay, so face down. People knew you were in distress, I'm assuming, or not?
No, that's the story takes a little twist. She she grabbed me and started dunking me up and down
because she thought you were just playing around.
Yeah, so she's dunking me up and down, and at that point I can only say like one word each time I come up. My breaths are really short. I can't talk very much because I lost all my chest muscles, all my abdomen, and everything that helps you breathe, besides your diaphragm. So that's the only thing working. And so I was able to say, "No, wait, something's wrong. I can't move." And then she finally realized after that time that something was really wrong.
So then, okay, and then she got you out of the pool, or your lifeguard buddies got you out of the pool?
No, we had a couple other lifeguards jumped in. My brother was working, is managing the pool that night, one of my older brothers. And,
okay.
Being in shock at that time,
right.
I actually tried to talk him out of calling an ambulance, and if you could just get me home, I'll sleep this off.
Right,
I'll be
okay.
fine in the morning.
Yeah. And, of course, that didn't happen.
No.
And then, right. How long, so now you're just going, the whole world has just changed in an instant for you, correct?
Yes, definitely.
And so how long did it take you to get where you are right now? I mean, was there any rehab? Was there any...
Well, I was in the hospital for 5 months.
Okay.
Which in that time I got pneumonia, got sent to ICU for 28 days, had a trach. My weight went down really far. I lost a lot of muscle, and so coming back from that was pretty tough. Where I couldn't even really move my arms. 2/3 of my arms are paralyzed, but the muscles that I did have were all atrophied and had to be rebuilt.
Right. So right now, from where you were in the pool, a lot of progress, quite obviously, right?
Yes.
To say the least. And then, that changed what you're doing quite obviously, but when did it focus on your mission of what said, this is what I want to do?
Oh, right now, yeah, I'm really big into Canine Companions. I have my 3rd service dog from them. And before I got my first one, I was in a long, several-year depression that I figured I needed to get out of, so I started looking at service dogs.
Right, exactly. We're chatting with Dan Guillou. He's a graduate volunteer for Canine Companions for Independence, talking about his tragic. How old were you when this happened?
16.
16, that's right, exactly. And how old are you now? 21?
52.
52, oh my goodness. Also joined by my colleague Neville Billimoria, Senior VP of Marketing and Community Relations for Mission Fed Credit Union. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. How'd you come across Dan, Neville?
Well, we actually first met serendipitously. We were doing a brand relaunch for Mission Fed, and we wanted to be representative of our entire population. And our creative director at the time reached out and asked him if he'd be willing to be part of that. So when we were shooting at Girl Scouts, he came down with his previous dog, and we met very briefly then. Fast forward the tape, and I happen to play music with a few local bands, and I look out into the audience and I go, golly, I know that guy. I don't know where I know him from, but I know him. But I didn't put two and two together until we started chatting, and I went over and sat down and we reconnected. And that's when we reestablished the amazingness of Dan and his mission and how he's turned these stumbling blocks into stepping stones and helped so many people be thoughtful about what canines can do to help, as he said, take in an instant your whole life changes, and now how do you navigate the future, and how do you do it with dignity, how do you do it with courage, and how do you model that? Which is why I said I was so excited to be here. Every time he tells that story, it's super heartbreaking and difficult for me to hear. Yeah, because it could happen to any of us. Yeah. However, the upside is how amazingly he shows up, man. He's my hero.
Yeah. Well, listen, it is quite awe-inspiring to say the least. And when you touch someone, you're touching actually not just Neville, you're touching his family and his whole, world out there, which has a lot of tentacles in that aspect. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you're listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing great things to San Diego for more than 60 years. Again, we're chatting with Dan Guillou, graduate volunteer for Canine Companions for Independence, also joined by Neville Billimoria, Senior VP of Community Relations and Marketing for Mission Fed. So talk a little bit about Canine Companions. Certainly very well known, got a great brand to say the least. You've been working with them for how long now?
I got my first dog in 2008.
In 2008, okay. And so when was that organization founded? Do you remember?
1975, I believe.
So 75, right. Who was it founded by? Was it someone that was in a similar situation that someone had, or they worked with folks that had challenges?
Okay, this part of the story, I'm not that.
Well, you can make up stuff. That's what we do here in the show.
From what I remember, I believe she was a lady that was in a wheelchair that got a service that,
sure,
sort of did a service dog on her own. Became a huge advocate and started the organization.
Right, exactly. Because I know a lot of people, they've seen the Canine Companion dogs with their, the vest they wear, so to speak, and, people are told, no, he's in training or she's in training or whatever the case may be. Don't be petting the dog, please. Like I probably did to Van, and you're probably going, Drew, don't touch the dog in that aspect of it. But thank you for not saying that in that aspect of it. How long does it take to train a dog to become Canine Companion certified, so to speak?
Well, the journey that they take when they're 8 weeks old, they're bred up in Santa Rosa area, okay, where our main campus is.
Right.
And then we have one in Oceanside, and there's 4 others around the United States. They start the journey up there. So when they're 8 weeks old, they get sent out to one of the other campuses, and where a puppy raiser will pick up their dog. And so this volunteer puppy raiser brings them into their home, and will raise the dog till they're about 18 months, 20 months old. And then they'll get turned into one of the 6 campuses around the United States. And at that point, they're go into advanced training for about 6 months. They'll go into advanced training. So when they're puppy raisers, the puppy raisers will teach them about 30 commands.
Right.
And then the advanced training does about 10 more commands, but they're a lot more advanced. And using the commands that the 30 others that they did, like to do a light switch, it takes a command called up, which they put their paws on something. Right. So they'll put their paws up on the wall and sort of stand there. And then a shake command to sort of bring the hand up and hit the light switch to turn it on.
And then eventually, do you say a different command? I mean, can they get to the point where you say light switch and they do the same, or do you still?
You mold it, and you mold those two, and you sort of say them together until the dog sort of starts picking that up. The next one is going to be, the shake, and to do that, and then you sort of give it a name.
Right. So, are there certain types of dogs that are best fit for Canine Companions? I mean, I see you have a lab here.
Well, there's not really a restriction on what kind of dog can be a service dog. Every single dog could do a good job.
Right.
Canine Companion uses labs and golden retrievers.
Yeah.
And labs, and most of them are mixes, because labs are considered working dogs. Golden retrievers are considered pleasing dogs. And so if you can get a dog that just wants to make the handler happy, when we'll do the commands for not having to give treats, but just praise, and petting them. And
yeah, see, I have a 10-year-old, or my daughter has a 10-year-old, golden retriever who his job is to be petted 24 hours a day, and doesn't make a difference. And you cannot pet the dog enough. Neville, do you have a dog?
Of course we do, and I have a Canine Companion story too.
I want to hear it.
I'll keep it brief, but many moons ago, a dear friend of mine who I've known since sophomore year of college was doing some puppy raising and taking care of puppies. And so there was a Canine Companion black lab he had named Kylie that he brought to the martial arts dojo where we trained at UC San Diego. And she was super young in that early stages. Fast forward the tape, she goes through the whole training. She ends up flunking out at the very end because of nearsightedness and fearful barking. And so now she's up for adoption. But they're very selective about who is going to get this highly trained animal. So I wrote this deep, rich story, and Kylie became part of our lives many moons later and was my last dog. She passed from cancer when she was 11. Oh. I now have a yellow lab named Ellie, who's a nut job, alpha female, a joy. So Canine Companions are near to dear to our hearts too, and we spend time at the ceremonies, the graduation ceremonies, and watching them find their forever homes. And it's a very, very emotional and powerful organization and impact. So,
well, for so many different reasons. Are there any type of disability that these dogs, they work with? The blind, I take it, deaf, or not really?
Well, okay, Canine Companions does not do guide dogs, which would be for the blind.
Okay.
They do dogs for hearing.
Okay.
A dog service dog team, which would be me and him.
Right.
They do a skilled companion, which would be typically a child with a disability, and then the parent would be the facilitator of the dog.
Okay.
So it's a three kind of team.
Right.
And then a facility dog, which would work in like being a court dog, or some police stations get them for helping with victims. They've a school, a teacher that has special needs students, a rehab, some sort of medical facility.
So are they bred, so if somebody wants to breed Canine Companion dogs, is that a thing to do where they're labs and I want to give this one up for training at 8 weeks, or not really?
No.
Okay.
No, gotcha. Canine Companions is pretty strict about staying within their own breeding program.
Right.
We will sometimes get a dog from another service dog organization, like Guide Dogs of America.
Right.
Which, we sometimes trade stud dogs to help with the breeding, to widen the pool of gene.
Right. When we come back from break, I want to talk more about what your dog can do. I know that you had dropped some keys, and we foolishly picked them up for you when it was Van's job to pick them up for you, right? He would have picked them up, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Does he drive the car too?
I wish.
Okay, right.
I wish. I'm waiting for that automatic driving.
Because it's stick shift, it's hard to do. Exactly. We're going to be right back with Daniel Guillou. He's a graduate and volunteer of Canine Companions for Independence, joined by Neville Billimoria, Senior VP of Marketing and Community Relations for Mission Fed Credit Union. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Here we are in the beautiful Mission Fed Credit Union studios here in Scripps Ranch, and we're going to be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, Cloudcast Media, and you're listening to Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing great things to San Diego for 60 years, joined by Daniel Guillou. He's the graduate and volunteer for Canine Companions for Independence, with us. I'm going to call you a co-host one of these days here because you're on the show so much with me. Neville Billimoria, Senior VP of Marketing and Community Relations for Mission Fed Credit Union, talking about Dan's story, how he got to this place here with a very serious accident at age 16, and now he's thriving as a 52-year-old. You don't look a day over 40, I'm telling you right now. With his dog, Van Netter. Sitting over here, we're going to talk about more what Van Netter does with Dan, but you got a pretty cool event that's coming up, correct?
Yes, we have a Dogfest. It's September 17th. It's going to be at Waterfront Park. Starts at 11 and ends at 4. It's an amazing event where it's just sort of celebrating the human-canine bond, and not just service dogs. It's all dogs are welcome. It's a nice family event. Bring your dog, bring your kids. We'll have fun.
So you go to the dogfest.com website, I imagine, or whatever it is, and sign up?
You can go to canine.org/Dogfest.
Right.
And then look up the San Diego one.
Okay,
There's
so
a bunch all around the United States.
What goes on? Or you're just hanging out with your dog? Is that the idea?
Well, we're going to have a lot of dog-friendly booths.
Okay.
We have a food court. We're also going to have a beer garden for beer tastings.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
okay.
I am actually the beer garden chair.
Very good. Can I put in for my favorite beer? Would that help at all?
Well, what is it? Let's see what we can do.
A Dortmunder Union. You have to fly to Germany and get it from the Dortmund region.
Then I'm going to say no.
Okay.
That one's not going to be there.
That one's not going to be there. Maybe I'll bring my own.
It may be there in spirit.
They're very, very good. Neville, are you going to be there?
I'm looking forward to it.
And you're bringing your dog?
Well, that's the plan, Jack.
Exactly. Folks go to this. And doggies.
We're hoping for 500 or more.
Oh, no, 500 of the four-legged and 500 of the two-legged?
Well, 500 of the two-legged.
Okay.
And hopefully more of the four-legged.
Yeah, that's outstanding. And obviously, we want dogs there that know how to behave with other dogs and humans, correct?
That's going to be fairly important that your dog can behave. We do have graduates with their service dogs around, and that's can sort of be a tough time if another dog sort of is more aggressive.
Sure.
But I don't know if we've ever had any problems in the past with this.
No, that's terrific. And then is there a fee?
No, there's no fee.
Really? But the contributions are welcome for Canine Companions.
More than welcome.
Exactly. So there's food booths, there's a beer garden. Are there doggy treats?
There's going to be booths that have doggy treats. I don't know about specific ones, but I do know there are some that are going to be there with...
Right, exactly. So Neville, how behaved is your dog in public?
It really depends. Again, Kylie, the previous one, she knew those 30 commands. She was a gem. Ellie, not so much. She's a wild child. So
right.
We probably could have trained her better, but we love her impervious spirit and ability to take on anything, anytime. So we kind of enjoy her rebel yell, man.
Just like Billy Idol. So, it's interesting. Is there going to be different booths like obedience schools and so forth? Not necessarily.
I don't know if we're having any obedience training other than that. That's one I don't know.
Yeah, because bless your heart for training your dog, we failed. So we had to send the dog to obedience school, actually run by a colleague of mine, Paul Menard. His daughter had run it up in Del Mar, I believe, and sent Jesse off for 2 weeks. It was a very peaceful 2 weeks. We enjoyed every second of it. As you know, male Goldens are very, very active and friendly. Like to chew on sprinkler systems and everything else in between. But the big smile on their face, of course, and that's great. But you know what? That obedience school is so important on that. Right before break, Daniel, we were talking about what type of things does your dog do for you. You know, we talked about you drop some keys. The dog can pick up the keys and hand them to you, right?
That's really the main job of what I really need a service dog for.
Okay.
I can't reach the ground and pick up something anymore.
Right.
I'm not in my 20s anymore.
Right. But does the dog actually bring stuff to you? You know, the old thing about the dog bringing the newspaper to you and all that. Does it bring other things?
Yes.
Okay.
The place where I live, there's a gate and then there's a couple stairs to get up to the thing. I go around the side part, but deliveries will sometimes just throw them over the fence and be at the bottom of the stairs. So he will run down and grab them for me.
Nice. And is that something that he learned through you, or he was trained to do that?
Well, the get command is taught by Canine Companions.
Right.
But to go and get specific things is more my training.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's got to be heartwarming. You've been involved with Canine Companions for how long now, you said?
Since 2008.
Yeah, so 2008. Okay, so 14 years. You have seen so many stories. Does any one stick out to you? I know that's not a fair question because there's probably 150 that stick out to you.
The stories that I always like to hear are more of the skilled companions, when like a parent is talking about their child that's disabled, that when they get the service dog and how much it changes their life. Being a child and disabled is just so difficult. It's this with kids being bullies and not really knowing how to interact.
Right. Now, does Canine Companions, they also, the comfort dogs, do they play that role too? Do they go to children's hospitals? They go visit places like that, or not really?
Not really. I mean, they do have facility dogs that children's hospitals have that are on site that some, like a therapist will bring.
Right.
But I'm not sure in the program that you're talking.
Yeah, well, we see veterans with PTSD, and you see them with comfort.
That is an amazing thing that Canine Companions has just recently done.
I was going to ask.
It started pre-COVID, and they were doing PTSD dogs with the military, and now it's in their program that they do have PTSD dogs, but it's specifically for military.
Right. You were saying the Canine Companion dogs also help if you're have some issues with hearing, correct?
Yes.
So, give me an example. How would that work?
Well, they get trained to sounds and will come and nudge the thigh or the leg of the handler.
Right.
So, like an alarm, anything. There's a story of a guy that wanted his dog because kids would go in his backyard, and he wanted to know when that happened. And so the dog would let him know when someone was around. So, the hearing dogs are amazing. It's so just to be able to go out and not be able to hear things. You don't know if there's an alarm, a police,
car coming, whatever,
anything.
Right.
You don't know when these things happen. Someone could call your name. The dog knows when someone calls your name. There's name specific.
Right. We're chatting with Dan Guillou, a graduate and volunteer for Canine Companions for Independence, joined by Neville Billimoria, Senior VP of Marketing and Community Relations for Mission Fed Credit Union. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, talking about all the cool things about Canine Companions and Dogfest coming up on the 17th of September. It's going to be on Waterfront Park. Is it what time does it kick off again? Dan?
Starts at 11.
Starts at 11 and goes till
4.
Goes to 4. Okay, very, very good. Free event. go on the website, go to Canine Companions, you'll find more about it. Make sure your dog is well behaved. That is something that's very, very critical. You said that your first service dog saved your life?
Yes.
How? Talk about that.
I was at home alone, and my leg spasmed, and I sort of fell sideways out of my wheelchair. And so I'm just kind of still in the chair, but hanging over sideways. And the armrest got dug underneath my rib cage. And so it caused a lot of pain. And I had no way of getting back up. And I tried bringing Cinnamon, was her name, brought her over, and I tried pushing on her, but she just wasn't stable enough. And so I had an ottoman that she would sit on to sit next to me while we're watching TV. And I'd move it around the room. So it had a strap on it for a tug command that they do.
Right.
And so they can tug it, but their tug command isn't specific to like, go get that and tug it over here. They just walk backwards to tug it, and you sort of have to position them to tug it in the right direction. This time I couldn't position her, and she was starting to pull it in the wrong direction, so I had to use several different commands to get her to keep it in her mouth and come to me. And so eventually, after a few times of dropping it and coming to me, then going back and picking it up and dropping it, come back to me, she finally realized she's supposed to be tugging it towards me. And so she brought the ottoman over by me where I could then push myself and sit up.
Yeah, that's going to be a little harrowing moments for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little panicky.
Yeah, right. Well, thank you for Cinnamon. Probably up in doggy heaven right now. Maybe not in doggy heaven.
She only worked for me for 3 years.
Okay.
She had a liver failure and had cirrhosis of the liver at age 4. Ooh. And was given 2 years, and she pretty much lived the 2 years.
Yeah. Always sad. when you lose, you never get over that when you lose dogs.
Nope.
Got a couple more minutes to go here before I kick it over to Dan and Neville. Any final comments?
Well, I love the quote, "I wish I was the person my dog thought I am." And in most of our cases, they're so unconditional, loving, and supportive that they lighten up our lives. In Dan's case, he is the person his dog thinks he is, which is the coolest ever.
Yeah.
So I just want to affirm again, Dan and the work that Canine Companions do to help those of us who can benefit from a service animal, and invite all of us to think about those pets right now that are in shelters that might be looking for a forever home if you're so inclined. It's not an impulse move, but I think they can really add to the quality of your life. And I just heard that Wednesday, 108 beagles were brought into Gillespie Field to the Humane Society, and are getting processed so that they can find their forever home. So if you're in the hunt for a beagle, there might be an option waiting for you there to join your family.
Right. Yeah, I was talking to Gary Weitzman about that, the CEO of the Humane Society, and he promises the beagles don't bark. I said, really? He made that promise? Of course, I'm teasing on that, but you should look them up, and that's a great key to make sure people go to the Humane Society as well. Daniel, what can our listeners do to support Canine Companions, Dogfest, your efforts? What can we do?
There's always volunteer opportunities, and you'd find that on canine.org. And look up the Southwest region, which is our region. That's our campus. That's in Oceanside. We can always use donations, always use volunteers. That's something the organization it pretty much is run. Wouldn't exist without their volunteers or donations. We don't get any other donations or any other money from anywhere else. And so we kind of run off of donations, and the dogs are provided free of charge to me. So it really is a good organization. They estimate about $50,000 goes into each graduate dog from birth to their life.
Right, exactly, with the training and so forth. So, again, everyone to go to canine.org. Is that the name of the website?
Yes.
Okay, good. And you can always Google Canine Companions. Look at Dogfest. It is September the 17th. It'll be at Waterfront Park. Bring your dogs, well-behaved dogs, let me say that, and make a donation or volunteer. As you can hear from Dan's story and what Neville was talking about, there's nothing better. It changes lives. And as we've talked about Neville many times on the show, not only the life of the person that has the dog, but the people that are in their sphere, without question. Dan, what a pleasure chatting with you. I hope you'll come back and make a return appearance.
Thank you. I'd love to. This is fun.
Okay, we'll absolutely do that. Neville, we know you'll make a return appearance.
It's very likely. I'm in the building.
Yeah.
Dan and Van, we love you, man.
Thank you.
Very, very good.
Great to be here. Thank you. I love you too.
Yeah, absolutely. We were chatting with Daniel Guillou, graduate volunteer, Canine Companions for Independence, also joined by Neville Billimoria. He is the Senior VP of Marketing for Mission Federal Credit Union. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. We hope you've enjoyed the show.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.